Harry Enton talks about support for Ukraine.
It's the idea that Ukraine's going to achieve complete victory. That idea has collapsed within Ukrainian society. What are we talking about here? Ukrainians on the war versus Russia. You go back to 2022, the start of the war. Fight until Ukraine wins. Look at this. The vast majority, about 3/4, 73%, agreed with that position. Negotiate to end the war as soon as possible, only 22%. Look at where we are now. It's a complete flip. It's the inverse. Now 69% want to negotiate to end the war as soon as possible, compared to just 24% who want to fight until Ukraine wins. That's a 49-point drop in this position. Now, of course, negotiating to end the war as soon as possible, that's a bit more nuanced, right? Ukrainians don't want to agree to all of Russia's demand, but I think the idea of even there being some territory that would be not formally recognized as being given that Russia could in fact stay in, that does have majority support, but the idea of formal recognition of Russia's demands, absolutely not.
All right. Why do you think that opinion has changed to the extent that it has?
Well, I think one of the big reasons why opinions have changed is this idea that this war is going to end anytime soon. Ukrainians don't think it will. Take a look here. Ukrainians on the war ending within a year. Just 25% say that it is likely. Look at this. 68%. 68% say it is unlikely that the war will, in fact, end in a year. And you'll notice, John, this 68% looks a heck of a lot like the 69% who say that they want to negotiate to end the war as soon as possible.
So President Trump overnight ruled out Ukraine joining NATO, seemingly ever, but what do Ukrainians feel about that?
Yeah, you know, obviously Ukrainians would like to join NATO. That has been a goal of theirs for a number of years. But the idea that that NATO admission will happen within 10 years, look at the collapse in this position. 2022, it was 64%. Now it is just half that level at 32%. So again, this is one of the goals that, Ukrainians had since the beginning of the war. They no longer believe that it's achievable. Well, the idea that Russia is going to be forced out of all of that land that they're occupying, they don't necessarily believe that that is going to happen. So again, I think this is one of the reasons why Ukrainians, they certainly don't want to accede to every Russian position, certainly not most of them, but the idea that they do want to negotiate an end to this war as soon as possible, that has now gone through the roof. Again, we're talking about 69%, which is such a big difference from where we were at the beginning of the war when it was just 22.
Wanting to negotiate doesn't mean wanting to surrender.
Correct.
It means wanting to discuss, and not believing that they'll join NATO is different than wanting to join NATO.
You got it.
But you can very much see how Ukrainian thinking has changed over the last few years.
Absolutely, John.
Harry, thank you.
Thank you.
These polls are disingenuous. We do want negotiations to end the war, but for sure, but do not accept permanent occupation. This is a crucial detail missing. I mean, that's also reflected in the polls as well. They say they don't want that, but like I've said from the start, which has, again, drawn a lot of controversy to my statements, but like Ukrainians and their real emancipatory need is not a part of the equation here. These decisions are being made without the opinion of Ukrainians. I would say that any sort of push to say like, oh, well, Ukrainians want sovereignty and therefore they should keep fighting, therefore we should keep giving them weapons, is simply a mechanism for America to continue selling weapons to Ukrainians. And it's not even necessarily the American population or the Western population's demands on this process that matters at all. The greatest example of this is, of course, Gaza. You have overwhelming majorities of Western populations demanding an end to America and the Western world's allowance for Israel to continue committing genocide in Gaza, and yet they have not moved an inch away from that position. They're in a permanent bloodshed position. They're deadlocked with Israel and their ambition to do ethnic cleansing in Gaza, and there's not really seemingly anything we can do about it to stop this process. Hold on.